God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning the first day. Genesis 1-5. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning the first day. These words may sound poetic and simple, but within them lies a divine mystery, a truth about how creation unfolds, not just in the universe, but within your own life. Because it didn't begin with morning, it began with evening. Darkness came first, then the light. The very first day was not defined by the brightness of dawn, but by the quiet presence of nightfall. And yet, that darkness wasn't the end. It was the beginning. This is the rhythm of creation, the pattern of how God works. And whether you realize it or not, this is the rhythm of your life too. We often expect life to move from light to light, from clarity to clarity, from one breakthrough to the next. But the truth is, most of our greatest transformations begin in the dark, in the unknown, in the silence, in the spaces where things don't make sense yet, where hope feels like a distant echo, where we wonder if anything good can come from the confusion we're walking through. But look again at how God designed the day. Evening first, then morning. That means the darkness isn't a detour. It's part of the design. It's part of the process. God didn't skip over it. He included it in the structure of time itself. So when you find yourself in a dark place, don't assume you've lost your way. You may actually be right where you're supposed to be, in the beginning stages of something new, something sacred, something that will one day shine bright with purpose. Darkness comes first, not to defeat you, but to prepare you, to teach you how to listen, to strengthen your faith, to clear out the noise so you can hear what really matters. Evening is the place where the soul grows quiet, where the heart begins to open, where healing often starts. It's where we wrestle with fear, yes, but it's also where we discover grace. It's where we learn that God is near, even when we can't see clearly. It's where we remember that light isn't something we earn, it's something we're promised. And then, morning comes, slowly, quietly, sometimes without us even noticing until it's already here. But it comes, just as surely as it did on the first day of creation, just as surely as it has every day since. That's the rhythm. Evening, then morning, struggle, then strength, confusion, then clarity, pain, then peace, darkness first, then light. So, if you're in the evening part of your story right now, hold on, morning is coming. Not because you're strong enough to chase it down, but because God is faithful enough to bring it. This is the rhythm of creation. This is the rhythm of your life too. You may feel like you're stuck in the night, like you're walking through a season where nothing is clear, where the world feels distant and cold, where your prayers echo back in silence and your future feels hidden behind a thick, unmoving fog. Your soul is tired, not from weakness, but from trying to stay strong in the dark, from holding on to hope when everything around you seems to be falling apart. It feels like you're waiting for morning, but the sun refuses to rise. But here's what the word tells us: it doesn't skip the evening. It doesn't hide the darkness or pretend it doesn't exist. It includes it. It honors it. From the very first day of creation, God didn't start with morning. He started with evening. He didn't call it failure. He didn't call it delay. He called it the beginning. And that's the part we miss so often. We think the darkness means we've gone off course. We think the confusion means something's wrong. But what if the night isn't a punishment? What if it's preparation? Evening teaches us to trust what we cannot see. It slows us down, quiets the noise, strips away the distractions, and invites us into stillness. And yes, that stillness can feel painful when you're longing for answers, for progress, for clarity. But even in that silence, something sacred is happening. Seeds are being planted in your heart. Strength is being formed in places no one else can see. Light is being prepared, even if it hasn't shown itself yet. The evening doesn't mean your story is over. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean God has forgotten you. It simply means you're at the beginning of something new, something not yet visible, but already in motion. The evening is where God hovers, where He speaks, where He separates what no longer belongs, where He prepares the path for what's coming next. He doesn't rush past the darkness. He works through it. So if you find yourself in the night right now, breathe. You're not lost. You're not alone. You're not stuck forever. You're simply in the sacred space where creation always begins. Morning is coming. The light will rise. And when it does, you'll see that the night didn't destroy you. It formed you. It made you deeper, stronger, truer. Because in God's rhythm, evening is not the end. Evening is the beginning. God didn't erase the dark. He didn't destroy it. He didn't pretend it didn't exist. He named it. He gave it identity. He called it night, and by doing so, He gave it purpose. The darkness wasn't a mistake in creation. It was a meaningful part of it. Then He did something even more powerful. He separated it from the light. And finally, He looked at the full picture, the evening and the morning, and called it one day, one whole day. Not just the bright parts, not just the parts that made sense. The night was included in the beauty of the day. So if you're going through darkness, if you feel overwhelmed by heaviness, confusion, or loss, don't panic. Don't rush to erase what you're feeling. Don't assume something's gone wrong just because you can't see the light yet. You are still in your first day. You are still in process. You are still in the divine rhythm of evening and morning. You haven't missed your calling. You haven't failed your destiny. You are simply in the part of the journey that doesn't look like progress, but it is. The night is not meant to defeat you. It's meant to shape you. It's where your strength is refined, where your faith gets deeper, where your dependence on God becomes real, not just words. The evening teaches you to believe even when you don't feel, to walk even when you don't see, to trust even when your heart is tired. And every step you take in the dark is a step toward the light. You may not feel it yet, but your morning is already on the way. The darkness you're in now is not permanent. That ache in your chest, that weight in your mind, that uncertainty in your soul, it's not forever. It's part of the process. It's part of the sacred, painful, honest becoming that all great stories require. Don't despise it. Don't curse it. Let it do its work in you. Let it teach you, refine you, prepare you. Let it remind you that God is still present, not just in the light, but in the shadows too. You are not being punished. You are being positioned for something better, for something deeper, for something you may not even have the language for yet. The first day didn't skip the dark, and neither will your story. But just like God saw it and called it good, there will come a day when you'll look back on this season, this night, and say, that was part of my becoming. That was part of my story. That was part of my day. So hold on, keep walking, keep trusting. Your morning is coming. Every breakthrough begins in the dark. Every transformation starts where nothing can be seen, where the world feels still and hidden and slow. But don't mistake stillness for absence. Don't mistake silence for emptiness. Something is always moving in the dark. God is always creating, always forming, always preparing what you cannot yet see. Seeds grow in the soil before they reach the light. In the deepest part of the earth, where no sunlight touches, life begins. Roots spread, foundations form, and only after that quiet growth does the seed break the surface. Babies are formed in the womb before they cry into the air. In the deepest mystery of life, inside the quiet and unseen place of protection, a human soul is shaped. The heart begins to beat long before anyone hears it. The lungs begin to form long before they breathe. The body is knit together in darkness, in silence, in stillness, and then, when the time is right, it steps into the light. That's not failure. That's divine timing. That's how all sacred things begin. Dreams, too, are developed in silence before they shine in the world. Long before anyone sees your vision, before anyone believes in your path, before your voice is heard or your work is recognized, the dream is forming inside you, in quiet conversations with God, in late nights filled with longing, in lonely places where all you have is the hope that something more is coming. The night isn't the end of the story. It's the place where the story is written. You don't need to be afraid of the night. You don't need to run from it or numb it or hide it. God is still working. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't happening. Just because you're in the dark doesn't mean He's forgotten you. The same God who created light also created evening, and He didn't abandon the darkness. He filled it with purpose. He called it part of the day. He used it to begin the rhythm of creation. The night has value. It has a role, and so does this season in your life. The story is still unfolding. Just because you're not at the end doesn't mean you're lost. Just because the light hasn't come doesn't mean it never will. Evening always comes first. That's the pattern. That's the promise. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming, slowly, faithfully, in the exact rhythm God set. From the very beginning, there was evening. Then there was morning. That was the first day. Let that settle deep in your heart. The darkness doesn't disqualify you. It introduces the light. It prepares the light. And eventually, it makes room for the morning. So wherever you are in your story, trust this. The morning is not far behind. So if today feels like night, if the world around you seems dim and uncertain, if your heart is tired from the weight of trying to stay strong, if your soul feels heavy from carrying questions without answers, just breathe. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not alone in the dark. What you're feeling doesn't mean you failed. It simply means you're human. It means you're in the middle of something sacred, a process far deeper than what the eye can see. Stay faithful, not because everything feels clear, but because your faith isn't rooted in feelings, it's rooted in truth. Stay steady, not because you have all the strength, but because God does, and He is still working, still present, still writing your story with tenderness and precision, even if it seems like nothing is moving. The same God who formed creation in the dark is forming something within you. Every breath, every silent prayer, every tear, it's not wasted, it's seen, it's known. Remember what the word says. There was evening, and then there was morning. Not morning first, not light without struggle, but evening first. And then, as sure as the sun rises without being told, morning came. That's more than a poetic line. It's a promise. A rhythm that applies to every soul who dares to trust through the shadows. Morning is promised. Not because you've earned it, not because you can make it happen, but because that's how God moves. That's how God loves. That's how God brings forth new beginnings through nights that turn into light. So hold on, even if it's just by a thread. Even if you're tired of hoping. Even if all you can do is whisper, God, I'm still here. That is enough. Your presence is your courage. Your faithfulness in the dark is your strength. Don't rush your process. Don't curse your night. Even now, even here, God is shaping something eternal within you. And this day, your day is only just beginning. It may feel like you're at the end. It may seem like nothing good can rise from this place. But the story isn't finished. The morning hasn't arrived yet, but it will. And when it does, you'll see with new eyes. You'll understand why the night was necessary, why the silence shaped you, why the waiting was holy. So be still, let your soul rest. The Creator is near, and just as He did in the beginning, He is doing it again, creating something beautiful from what feels like nothing. Your morning is on its way, and your first day is only just beginning.